We are kicking off today with WWE Money in the Bank, where Seth Rollins will challenge World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, but there will be much more on the line than the title. Should Priest win, Rollins will never get a shot at his World Heavyweight title, but a win for Seth Rollins will see him win the gold and force Damian Priest to leave the Judgment Day. With such high stakes, WWE's creative team have been pitching ideas for how the match will go down, with one idea pitched seeing a huge turn. According to sources, one idea is for Finn Balor to interfere and cost Priest the title, with Priest warning Finn not to get involved during this week's Raw being seen as a tease of what's to come. Whether costing Priest would be deliberate or an accident, the result would see Damian leave the Judgment Day, which would then fall under the control of the inaugural Universal Champion. This would result in a face turn for Priest, who would align with the always popular Rhea Ripley once she's back, who will have her own issues with Dominic upon her return. Tomorrow's show could mark the end of the Judgment Day as we know it, but do you think WWE should go in this direction? Let us know below. One name who knows all about Money in the Bank is CM Punk, who has won the briefcase twice in his career and could have a major role at this week's show. According to sources, there has been an idea for CM Punk to provide commentary on the show, as Pat McAfee is expected to be with his family following the passing of his father-in-law. While Michael Cole has said Pat will be back for next week's Raw, it could be Punk who fills his seat tomorrow night, but he may do much more than just call the action. It has been pitched for Punk to get involved in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, about which Drew McIntyre will compete in, with Punk planning to cost Drew the briefcase. After being cashed in on twice, McIntyre is eager to hold the briefcase himself, but we'll just have to see if CM Punk has anything to say about that tomorrow night in Toronto. It was at WrestleMania 40 that Stephanie McMahon declared this to be the Paul Levesque era, and business has certainly been booming under her husband, Triple H. The game has had a different approach to handling talent and storylines compared to his father-in-law, but one champion is seemingly falling into an all-too-familiar pattern. As pointed out online, Women's World Champion Liv Morgan isn't booked for this week's show in Toronto, and this is the latest PLE that will go ahead without the 30-year-old star. Morgan didn't compete at Clash at the Castle either, and online, fans have been critiquing this handling of her, comparing it to talent going overlooked in the Vince McMahon era. While some have even compared Liv to Brock Lesnar, who also missed PLEs, though the situation is far different as Brock's part-time schedule allowed him to have few title defenses. As for Liv, her angle with the Judgment Day on weekly TV has proven popular, but it remains to be seen when we'll see her get a match at a premium live event. But what do you think of Liv's handling under the Triple H era? Is she being overlooked at PLEs, or do you have faith in the game's booking? Sound off in the comments. On this week's Dynamite, MJF proved he's still the scumbag fans saw for years in the company, with a brutal attack on Daniel Garcia that left him in a bloodied heap in the ring. This attack came after MJF had accompanied Garcia for his unsuccessful title match against International Champ Will Ospreay, but Garcia wasn't the only person in MJF's sights. In fan-recorded footage, MJF can be seen being showered with booze, and the former AEW World Champion responded by throwing garbage at a spectator and nearly coming to blows. Thankfully, due to security intervention, the situation didn't escalate further, and fans will soon get to hear from MJF and why he did what he did. It was confirmed by MJF on Twitter that he'll kick off this week's episode of Collision, and hopefully the crowd will make sure to keep in line after this week's scary situation with a fan. This isn't the first time MJF has gotten too personal with a fan, as he poured an alcoholic beverage on a young fan at Revolution 2023, which sparked a debate as to what is too far. But what do you think of all this? Was MJF just living up to his heel role with this fan, or has the former AEW World Champ crossed a line again? Give your thoughts in the comments. At Forbidden Door, Mercedes Moné won the winner-take-all match with Stephanie Vaquer, but a lot of fans weren't pleased to see her hold the AEW TBS and NJPW Strong Women's titles. The crowd in New York turned on Moné, booing her and chanting "shut the f*** up" at the CEO, but she has done exactly not that by addressing the matter in a recent newsletter. In the newsletter, Moné suggests that the fans turning on her mid-match may stem from their love for New York teams over Moné's hometown team of the Boston Celtics. Moné initially felt amused about the crowd turning on her, citing the unpredictable nature of the wrestling fans, but their energy ended up hyping her even more during the match. Concluding her newsletter, Mone claimed that her character, the CEO, was not only a character, but an entire corporation with immediate expansion plans in motion. Mone won't let some negative chants and boos in New York rock her confidence, but what did you make of the fans turning on her against Vaquer? Let us know in the comments section. Forbidden Door was a huge win for Mercedes Mone, but a massive defeat for Stephanie Vaquer, who is eager to get back in the ring with the double champion. Speaking to Emily Mayheller after the match, Vaquer was asked what's next for her and wasted no time in making clear she wants another match with the CEO. She said, "I represented the New Japan Strong Women's title all around the world, and I did it with my heart. Today Mercedes beat me. She's a great opponent, but I'll learn from my mistake. This is not the last time you see Stephanie Vaquer because I'll be back and I want my rematch." A rematch could very much happen, as PW Insider reports that there was significant internal praise within AEW for their match, with a lot of that praise aimed at Vaquer. The now former champion was credited for being able to connect strongly with the New York crowd, who will have been more used to seeing Mone given her years in WWE. It's reported that Mone's primary goal was to make Vaquer, and despite Vaquer arriving late on the afternoon of the event, they successfully achieved this objective. Is a rematch between the two something you'd like to see? Or should Mone and Vaquer move on to other opponents and angles? Give us your thoughts in the comments. Mone's title celebration was cut short by the returning Britt Baker, who also appeared on AEW Dynamite Beach Break and shared why she hasn't been around since September of last year. Baker recounted a harrowing experience where her entire right side temporarily stopped working, leading to a diagnosis of transient ischemic attack. TIA is a serious health scare that Baker had initially tried to play down, but after realizing the seriousness of the matter, informed Tony Khan that she'd require significant time off. According to a report by PW Insider, Britt Baker's account of suffering TIA, which is like a mini stroke, is entirely legitimate and not part of any storyline. Thankfully, Baker has made a full recovery and is at long last on AEW programming. And are you excited at the potential showdown with Mercedes Mone next month at All In? It was at last year's Money in the Bank event that Trish Stratus competed in the titular ladder match for the first time, and now she's back for this year's show. When we say she's back, we should clarify that Trish won't be wrestling, but the 7-time WWE Women's Champion will instead be part of the pre-show event. We imagine that Toronto will give a warm welcome to the city's favorite daughter and expect plenty of stratisfaction to be delivered ahead of Money in the Bank 2024. On July 1st, Ricochet officially became a free agent as his WWE contract expired, which came weeks after he was written off of TV by an attack from Bron Breakker. While WWE had hoped for one more appearance from him to capitalize on the buzz of his leaving, Ricochet is now gone, and fans are wondering where's next for him. According to Fightful Select, Ricochet is likely heading to AEW, with talks reportedly well underway, and he is expected to join the company soon. Ricochet's agent was recently seen backstage at AEW and has been actively involved in negotiations between Ricochet and AEW in recent days. It should be noted that Ricochet's agent also represents several talent in both WWE and AEW, so it cannot be confirmed that he talked about the one and only backstage at AEW. In fact, TNA X Division champion Mustafa Ali was backstage at AEW Beach Break Dynamite this week in Chicago, though it's unclear if he talked business at the show. Will Ospreay has made clear he hopes to see Ricochet join AEW, expressing his excitement and anticipation, and fans are eagerly awaiting Ricochet's debut in Tony Khan's company. Is Ricochet making the right call by joining AEW, and who do you hope to see him face in the promotion? Sound off in the comments section down below. Last month, mere hours before his high-profile match at Clash at the Castle, it was confirmed that Chad Gable had signed a new contract with WWE after months of speculation. Despite being amid the biggest push of his career, Gable's contract had continued to tick away, and now the Olympian has shared why he put pen to paper. Speaking on Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg, Gable addressed the timing of his new deal and why he is pleased to still be with WWE. He said, "The timing is unbelievable. I've reflected on it so much. These are the kind of things that when they happen like this, they make you question, like, there's something to this. Someone was looking out for me or fate or something because the stars just aligned. It was just too perfect. This is where I want to be. I'm like a loyal guy, right? So I start somewhere, I want to finish there. If I start something, anything, I want to finish it. I'm just so happy and fortunate that the idea of finishing it now looks different than it would have just a few years ago, which would have just been like fulfilling my contract would have been finishing it because I wasn't really doing anything. Now finishing it means accomplishing things, winning championships, and leaving a real legacy. While Gable didn't win the Intercontinental title in Glasgow, he has found himself in a high-profile angle with the Wyatt 6, which shows WWE's immense faith in him. Will Gable one day win singles gold? Perhaps. But for now, Chad is pleased to still be a WWE superstar, even if it means being the target of Uncle Howdy and his allies. Now, Angel Garza has been a part of WWE for some time now, and while his contract was set to expire on August 1st, fans will see him on WWE TV for a long time to come. On a Facebook stream, Garza revealed that he just re-signed a new 3-year deal with WWE and described his new deal as an offer I straight up could not reject. A member of Legado del Fantasma, Angel Garza has been a regular on TV thanks to his work with the promotion, and expect to see much more of him in the years to come. On July 3rd, WWE filed a trademark for Super Brawl, the name used for a WCW pay-per-view from 1991 to 2001, and now more terms from the defunct promotion have been trademarked. WWE has also filed a trademark application for New Blood Rising, almost 24 years after the final event of its name took place in Vancouver, British Columbia on August 13, 2000. The show saw Booker T retaining the WCW World title against Jeff Jarrett, Kevin Nash beating Goldberg and Scott Steiner, and other classic matches from the final months of the company. WWE has also filed a trademark for the term The Match Beyond, and while some speculate that WWE is planning on resurrecting WCW shows, it's plausible this is just for archival footage. With that said, the descriptions of the trademark uses the term ongoing, which suggests WWE might have future plans for them after all. WWE has already repurposed several WCW properties for the NXT brand, including annual specials like Halloween Havoc, which gives the show a sense of nostalgia. We'll have to wait and see how WWE will be utilizing the old WCW pay-per-views eventually, as the company will surely have something in store for these classic terms. Right now, few superstars have a brighter future ahead of them than Bron Breakker, who could be the Intercontinental Champion by this time next week. Breakker is just the latest star in his family to step into the ring, as fans are well aware that he is the son of Rick Steiner and the nephew of Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Speaking to the Masked Men show, Bron was asked about his family getting involved on TV, and while it's possible, he's focused on building himself up first. He said, "I think for now I'm kind of establishing myself and kind of going my own way. I think down the line, yeah, we have that. We have that as an option to do if we need it one day, to where we can get my dad and uncle involved in some form or fashion, so that's always there." As we said, Bron could hold gold very soon, as he'll challenge Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn at Money in the Bank, and many feel the title will change hands in Canada. If so, it'll be the biggest win to date for Bron Breakker on the main roster, but it'll likely not be the last significant moment for the second-generation superstar. During a recent edition of ROH TV, Women's World Champion Athena said that she had suffered an injury, one that could keep her out and prevent any title matches for as long as a year. Red Velvet and Queen Aminata claimed during the same segment that Athena was faking the injury, and now it appears ROH management agrees with this claim. On this week's ROH show, it was announced that Athena would be defending her ROH Women's Championship against Queen Aminata at Death Before Dishonor, angering the champion. On Twitter, Athena demanded a meeting with Tony Khan as soon as possible, as the champ is looking to avoid the title defense at ROH's July 26th show in Arlington, Texas. On this week's Dynamite, Hangman Adam Page made his return to AEW TV in his first appearance since Revolution in March, and he had a new attitude for the show. The wild card in the Owen Hart Men's Cup, Page's return saw the debut of a new theme song, and on Twitter, Mikey Ruckus said the back hat theme was composed by the genius Vincent Pendula. Pendula, for those who may not know, is the musician name of the former AEW World Champion, who also recorded his old theme in the company. With a new theme and aggressive attitude, it'll be interesting to see what's next for the Cowboy now that he has made his long-awaited return to AEW TV. Page won his first-round tournament match against Jeff Jarrett, who in the days leading up to the bout spoke passionately about what it meant to be in the Owen Hart Men's Tournament. Jarrett and Owen were friends and tag team partners, and the emotional video of Jarrett has been praised by the fans, making Double J's loss in the first round all the tougher. As revealed by footage making rounds online, Jeff Jarrett received a standing ovation as well as "Thank you, Jeff" chants as he made his way to the back. It was certainly not the expected outcome for Jeff Jarrett, but it is likely he'll bounce back soon enough as the veteran continues to honor his late friend even after being eliminated. Back in 2016, Shane McMahon made his return to WWE after a 7-year hiatus, but the prodigal son also had a major bombshell to drop. In the build to WrestleMania 32, Shane revealed the existence of a lockbox with something very important, so important that it even made his father pause and reflect on the situation. Unfortunately, the contents of the lockbox was never revealed and the topic was dropped, as were many aspects of the rushed build to Shane vs. The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell. Now, Fightful Select has revealed that the lockbox angle was essentially an ad-libbed idea, and that the plan was that Shane would win the lockbox's contents at the last minute. Sources indicate that there were never any contents agreed upon, as the line wasn't even supposed to make air, yet ended up making the broadcast anyway. In fact, the term lockbox had been a much lampooned part of Vice President Al Gore's attempted presidential run in 2000 and was mocked on an infamous SNL sketch. Shane, like Gore, lost when it mattered most as he was defeated by The Undertaker at WrestleMania and famously fell from the top of the cage through an announce table. This was a moment that was safely designed to mimic Mick Foley's infamous 1998 fall, though we imagine the crash balloon under the table did little to make his fall less painful. Ultimately, we never found out what was in the lockbox, as those in WWE didn't know either, and whatever secret Vince McMahon had, it'll remain just that. And we're ending with Bray Wyatt, who tragically passed in August 2023, leaving behind his fiancée Jojo Offerman and 4 children. And this week, Jojo shared the important reason she is making appearances. Speaking to Going Ringside, Jojo spoke about making appearances at events following Bray's passing and believes it helps her as well as others. She explained, "Honestly, the biggest reason I do appearances is to be able to let people know that they can come and show their support in person if they want to. I think seeing me has helped a lot of people cope." WWE has supported Bray's family as his Legends deal means proceeds from his merch aid Jojo and the kids, and our thoughts remain with Jojo and Bray's family during this difficult time.